ambiance.
Yeah. Hey guys, welcome to this first live session, which will be a CD review session we will do from now on. Partly because I'm doing this already a few years for a jazz magazine in Holland, in the Netherlands, Jazz Fits it's called, and I've reviewed a few, no, I think over 20 albums so far, and I recently I get some mails by labels to review CDs, jazz CDs, and I recently got a few months back this CD by Tim Garland. It's called Weather Walker, and it's absolutely a terrific album. I immediately told Timothy about it because I liked it so much. So we want to share it with you and share some thoughts and a few bits and pieces of the tune. So hope you are interested in that kind of stuff. We thought it was cool.
Yeah.
So what is special about this album is that for the guys who don't know Tim Garland yet, he worked quite some on some CDs and some bands with Chick Corea. He's in the Vigil project, and he did a few orchestral albums as well with Chick Corea. There is the Continent album, which is also great, by the way. The New Crystal Silence, on which he also won a Grammy for Best Orchestration or something on the also Crystal Silence track. So this is actually just a logical follow-up from his part. This is his solo CD, or at least he's the band leader of this project, and he is accompanied by Pablo Held, who is a rising star in the German jazz world, and yeah, it's very cool. I think it's very cinematic in a way for a jazz composer.
Yeah, definitely.
I don't know what you thought the first time you heard the album, because it starts like we started this session. It started that way. For me, it was kind of Hans Zimmer. A bit.
Sort of, yes.
I mean, it's not the same, but I had immediately like a movie in the background. Right?
Yeah. It's awesome string writing and textural writing and lots of colors and.
Because I know Timothy is doing this a lot with VSTs, of course. With
I don't have London Symphony at my disposal.
No. That's another point. It's the production is for jazz standards really high. I mean, it's recorded in Abbey Road Studios with a 39-piece string orchestra, I think.
Something like that.
A big orchestra. Yeah, it sounds really amazing. Somebody had too much money. Because, I mean, they won't make probably that money out of CD sales anyway.
Actually, do you know Tim Garland through Chick Corea? Or how did you get to know him?
Yeah, I know him from the Continents album.
Ah.
Yeah, I heard his playing, especially I like a lot his soprano sound. I dig it a lot. Yeah, I know him from. He's British, by the way. Don't know if I mentioned that already. So for Americans among us, he's maybe not so famous, only through Chick Corea probably.
Yeah.
He writes also film music. I mean, for real, this sounds really film-ish, but it's not. Well, this is actually an album. I was thinking of this, and I also wrote this in the review for the magazine. Mostly there is a movie, and then people say that needs a great soundtrack. Well, this is the opposite. This is a great soundtrack, which should be a movie that. Yeah, they should write a movie for it. I think it's maybe crazy idea, but I think
Yeah, but if you read it on his site, his inspiration was
oh yeah,
like this lakeside.
Lakeside district in England. I didn't
Yes.
know it personally, but he
Yes.
was kind of into the woods himself, surrounded by nature.
Yeah, lots of mountains, lots of forests, I'm presuming. So yeah, it's a little bit like Vivaldi did with his Four Seasons.
Oh yeah, in a way it is, yeah.
So yeah, he's trying to depict a landscape. So,
Mm-hmm.
but by that you almost automatically get this cinematic
Yeah.
sound.
So actually, this is a very good album for people who like to go to the movie and like who like film music and jazz. Like if you like both, which we do, it's an amazing album for real. So maybe let's listen to well, I don't know if you hear this at home. We are still testing a bit. We have the music in the background here. But we want to show you a bit of another track, and that's really original in the way Tim Garland lets his orchestra groove. He really makes them groove, and then he plays a really cool line on top of it, which for saxophone players among us, he goes into the top tones, like really overtones, not just altissimo, but he really uses the low notes to produce overtones, and he makes some crazy lines with it. It's really an amazing. I was blown away by it. I mostly listen into the car when I'm into the car. I listen to CDs because that's when I have the most time, and I was really awestruck when I was driving. I was like, whoa, it's cool, yeah. So let's, it's called Angry Sun. I think no, it comes with altissimo. Check this part. It's amazing, really. Yes, that's something. Well, I've never heard something like that before, to be honest. So
No.
I was quite impressed when I heard that. Yeah. What can you say about that? So it's quite modal playing mostly what he does. I think that's also that fits the style of landscapes probably a
Yeah.
lot.
Yeah.
The Dorian mode a lot, or the Lydian mode, yay, or 11 mode. So maybe that's also why I like it. Yeah. What else to be told about Tim and his band?
I don't know, like with what we just heard, I think you have the string orchestra, but there's also his double bass player and
Yeah.
piano player, and like you can hear the bass play some fast bass line sometimes. I think it's his bass player and not the whole section. That plays. And
No, I think
it's just such a cool blend between the band and the string orchestra.
Yeah.
Like it's really well balanced and blended, and
which is not a very easy thing, or because jazz musicians and classical music musicians tend to be like quite far apart from each other, I think. And on this album, they really blend.
yeah.
Mostly when you have the jazz albums with strings and stuff, then it's really a jazz band with an orchestra, or on top of the orchestra, or I don't know, it's in a way. But here it's really a very nice blend. And also the piano player Pablo Held. Well, I knew him a bit before because there are quite some German players with whom I played or taught. Yeah, we studied on a kind of free country point, or how do you say that? Where Belgium, Netherlands, and Germany they come together, and so I know quite some German players, and Pablo Held is quite a thing in Germany. But for me, well, he was always in the things. I heard him once live when I was in Aachen, and it's really experimental music. I mean, he's a great player, but at that moment I was not really into the music he made. But now I hear him on the album with Tim Garland. It's amazing. He has a very clear touch on the piano, like almost of a classical pianist. It's really every note that he plays. He's not the jazz player that plays ghost notes. Actually, in a way, he doesn't. I mean, he everything he plays, every note, he makes every note count in a way, and that's something I really like in his playing. So really cool album. Maybe let's go to a final and third piece. A bit of the improvisation parts, because they really do improvise on the album.
Yeah.
Maybe we showed you a few pieces where it's really all composed through and really classical-ish written out. Well, he improvised a bit in between, but
Als geen
Thank you, Sonoshit Helsinki. That's his name. You commented, I just saw it. Really nice of you. Well, I hope you got some inspiration by the album. I did at least. I really, really. I did a few projects with with orchestra. Where I had to play soprano saxophone, and it was a kind of folk, Irish folk music, and it's a really interesting experience because I really couldn't look at the conductor. No, but for real, I really couldn't because it seems to come. It's like you have latency when you play with MIDI instruments and you don't have a good sound card or you didn't correct the buffer size or stuff. When I play Eevee, for example, it's the same experience when you play with a classical orchestra of 50 people almost. They all seem to react more to the conductor than to anticipate where that, like, for example, if she does, what was a female conductor, if she does this, yeah, they just come later. So in the end, I just looked kind of into the ground when I had to solo a bit over was really a D major battle, beautiful Irish folk music. I can't remember what the name was, but I really liked it. That impossible to follow the conductor, really. But when you're playing jazz, I don't know, maybe it's about when you play jazz, you are always thinking of what to play, and you're into the harmony and into the notes and stuff. And that was when I played with the classical orchestra and I had to improvise there. Well, it's so amazing because like there are 40 people who provide you with a chord, with a layer. It was just a try it. I mean, like we jazz players who think, try it. That's something very not so complicated. But this was just, and then playing just one single note and keeping that note on top of these strings, it's a complete different experience. It's then you feel how delicate every note is that you play and that you place on top of the music.
Yeah.
It makes you're not so you don't play so many notes when you have that. I don't know, yeah, it's really different. Instrumentation and yeah, jar, of course, it's all that, but I think it's the instrumentation that did it for me, that made me feel really, whoa, I should take care of my notes and place them beautifully. And and actually, we should do this also when we play in trio or when we play jazz. I mean, but it's hard. I mean, it's not so easy to I also cannot really recapture the string orchestral feeling and place it onto a jazz chord. We all seem to get really bummed up and like going over the. It's what here's a very interesting sheet with what Chicoria gave to his fellow musicians. It's on the internet, probably few of you saw it. Did you see it?
I don't know.
There's some kind of sheet that was like really typewriter-ish written, like probably in the 80s or 90s, and he gave this to all his musicians, what to take care for. It's a bit like the monk notes, but then he really meant it to be kind of given to all his musicians. And Chicoria talks a lot about space. Think of where to leave space rather than where to play. Like do the opposite actually.
Yeah.
So that's maybe also what attracted him into Tim Garland's playing, and also for sure his orchestral playing, because they really dare to take their space.
Mm-hmm.
And that could be a lesson for all of us, I think. I mean,
Leave some space.
Leave some space. Yeah. Well, maybe let's wrap up here. I mean, go and check out the album. It's on YouTube, guys.
Yes.
It's here on YouTube. It's called Weather Walker.
Yes.
It's not Weather Report. We always think of Weather Report, but it's Weather Walker. You can find the complete album here on YouTube. Just check it for yourself. Yeah, it's really amazing. And I hope you liked this first live session where we do a CD review, because we have some other CDs in mind we probably will do the coming weeks. It's maybe a coincidence, but there is a new Miguel Zenon album, the amazing New York player. We also was the leader of the San Francisco Jazz Collective. And he has an amazing, with a quartet, with a classical string quartet, an album. You can already do some research on that. It's called Yo Soy La Tradición, I think. Yeah, that's the name. And whoa, the arranging is just mind blowing. And also the saxophone playing, the virtuosity, the lyricalness. Do you say that? Lyricalness. Is that a word? Being lyrical.
I'm searching for a word, but
Yeah, but the beauty, it's two things. Like, it's virtuoso for sure, but it's also very beautiful. You don't find that so easily. Mostly when jazz is virtuoso, people, they run away. Yeah. But it's both, and it's classical. It's very classical as well as jazz, and very improvised. And I've never heard something like that. So we'll look at a few tunes and what we like about that, maybe next week or in 2 weeks. And yeah, hope to see you again. We probably will do it around the same time, same day.
probably.
So look out for it if you're online. Yeah, join us and leave us some comments. Would be really cool.
Yeah.
So, bye and see you next time, guys.
Okay, I'm on.